Hello, welcome to Moist Nougat. I am the kid.
I'm Marnie.
And I'm Danny Lee.
Oh, he switched it up on me.
Yeah, ladies first.
Okay.
Dan Lee's back in the studio.
Yay.
First time in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is nice to be here.
after he did call in last week.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I won't get into the debacle that was, but it was on my end. It wasn't on anybody else's end.
Oh.
Yeah.
I looked at the picture. I'm like, who's that guy?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I put your picture in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yesterday was my 10th anniversary.
Yay.
Nice.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Happy belated anniversary
That's
to
what
my
I
wife.
said. Yeah.
I didn't see her at all yesterday.
That's a lie.
Yeah. How's that work?
I would have been pissed.
And tomorrow is Mother's Day.
It is.
So
Yeah.
happy Mother's Day.
Day to
course-
Marnie.
Yeah.
When you hear this, it'll be like this past Sunday was Mother's
Right.
Day.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
and happy birthday to all the mothers out there, including
Happy
Marnie.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy Mother's Day.
Of course. You got to throw
Happy-
that
I mean,
in.
we can
happy-
do both. Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, happy Arbor Day.
Mazel
Yeah.
tov.
Right.
Yes, Arbor Day. Arbor Day.
Oh, I love Arbor
It's
Day.
going to be interesting because, my mom's going to come over. I'm going to cook for her. Well, my dad will be there too. But I'm not even contacting Cameron. I want to see what he does.
Yeah.
I kind of just want him to come mow my lawn.
There you go.
That's it.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day.
Right. Bye. No.
And Dan Lee wasn't in the studio last week because John got COVID, then
Right.
Parker got COVID, and then Shannon got COVID. So it
Right.
kind of went through the whole. And I don't know who else was there. Olivia was there.
Olivia was there.
She never got it.
She never got it. And my wife and I never got it.
And so
Good.
at least not everybody got it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Summer's here. It's
is.
It's getting
It's hot
freaking
as
hot
hell.
out.
Yeah.
It's so hot outside.
It is. I'm not ready for it.
I
but-
should have wore shorts, but my legs are too white right now. They're like
Well,
almost
if you don't
see-through.
if you don't if you don't get shorts, you're not going to get a tan.
Well, I use fake tan.
I don't
like,
even care anymore. I
Well-
don't care. Like I wear like SPF like 8,262.
Yeah. Well, usually
I-
guys don't really care about tans. It's more of a girl
Not guys
thing.
in my shape. Like if I was a bodybuilder or like in good shape, I'd probably.
Well, and I also
Yeah.
have this weird thought that when you're tan, it kind of makes you look thinner. It's not true, but that's just in my head.
See, I get the kind of tan from like mowing the lawn and being outside
Yeah.
doing shit like
Farmer's
that, where I
tan.
take
Yeah.
off my shirt and it
Yeah.
still looks like I have a shirt on.
Yeah.
That's why they're called rednecks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Cameron gets really, really dark on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
Like just from doing the lawn care stuff.
Yeah.
He's very, he looks white, but when he gets tan, he gets really tan.
Was gonna try to use the new camera this week.
I was wondering about that.
As with anything that you buy, you need to buy more things.
Oh, no. More things.
Well,
Yikes.
I need a wide angle lens for the camera
Gotcha.
because
Okay.
I mean I can actually use it, but the tripod would have to be all the way back, almost touching the desk.
Oh,
Which I may try it next week, but the problem with that is then the light stands and everything else all pick up on the video, and you got all this crap in the video that you don't really want in the video. So,
gotta play around with it.
yeah, and I just need to learn the camera. And I have found I need like a 16 mil wide angle lens, and
okay.
I've found one, and but I haven't even made the first payment on the camera yet, so I
Right.
can't buy.
How much is the lens?
It's on sale for $250 right now. That's
That's
cheap
good.
for a lens. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
My
Yeah, from
goodness.
there it goes up to like $500-600.
My goodness.
Well,
I don't
you're
even
the
want to
one.
know how much the camera was
But
then.
but just the short time I've had the camera, and I haven't been able to get out and like go. And I didn't buy it so much for photos. I bought it more for videos.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of stuff, and
But I bet it takes great photos.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And but I've narrowed it down now that I played with it a little bit because I was trying to get a grasp on the lenses and stuff, and that's what I was having so much trouble with when I was buying the camera. It's like because I could have got it with a different lens, but it would have been a couple $100 more. I actually saved more money buying it with the lens that I got it with, and then I added in the other, the nifty 50 that I was talking about. But they're not wide angle lenses. But like I said, I could use it if the camera was farther back.
Yeah. Well, it's probably nice to have different, options.
Yeah, and really, I've narrowed it down to I'm always probably there's going to be a lens that that would be a neat lens to have, but I want a decent zoom lens.
Right.
So
gotta have that.
Like I was telling my wife, I was like, if I'm sitting out here and the squirrel's up there, and
you want to be able to.
I want to be able to zoom in where it feels
Get
like I'm
close.
10 feet away from the squirrel.
Yeah.
Instead of
and quickly
100 yards.
Yeah. Right.
Right, and then the wide angle for being able to do the podcast or whatever like that.
Right.
So, but I'm not disappointed or anything. I've got a new toy and I've got lots to do with it. And
question is the cabin, is it in pretty mountains and stuff like that, around you? And you should take it up there and take some pictures.
I will.
And practice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really.
Every
awesome.
time I go up there, I have a carload of I take all the podcast stuff, I take all my camera stuff, and I make 20 trips in and out of the house to get all my shit in there, and
then sometimes don't even use it.
Right, exactly, or half of it, anyways. But it's if I don't have it and I need it,
yeah,
you
should just go there and relax and not take everything.
I should just do everything on my fucking phone.
That's right.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. I'm not going to go on and on about the camera.
Okay.
Because the camera that I have is
it's
completely adequate for what we're doing with it right now.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't. I don't know what the correct word is, but if I were you, you're the one that jumped in. You should have it set up and right on your face.
Well, yeah, I should, but nobody wants to see that.
Well, but you can go to it and then go back. You can edit it in, edit it out.
Basically, what I'm saying is, if anybody wants to start a GoFundMe for the kids' lens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Collection.
Okay.
I'm totally in for it. So I'm not going to start it myself. Somebody else has to do it for me. You
can't do it yourself. That's just tacky.
Well, people do it for all kinds of shit.
They do. I know.
I need whatever. Help me pay for it. I want to live in my van and drive around the country.
Help me out.
And not have a job and still be able to eat and live and all that. So help me.
Just help
me fund my.
Help me be happy.
Yeah. Help me have my life. Fuck your life.
I've seen people do them for pets that have to have major surgery or something. That I kind of get.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Or a prosthetic or any number of things where people actually need help.
Right.
That's a whole nother time.
I let's put one up. I need another spa day.
There you go.
I need a spa day. Can you just
spa day
hit me with some money?
Go fund me. I'm only trying to raise $30,000.
Right.
But if I hit
I'm not
50,
trying to buy the spa, but
start my own.
Right.
But all right. Anybody got anything else before we jump into our topic?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, this week, and I could either scariest travel stories or craziest travel stories. It could go either way.
Okay.
Because it doesn't necessarily have to be scary. Because I did shit as a kid where it didn't scare us, but it was damn sure crazy.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have been doing it.
Risk-taking type thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking before we started. You didn't want to start this one out, so I'm going to let Dan Lee start it out because I know you got some war stories as far as traveling goes.
Stories.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we were on a trip to a track out west. We had left Bristol Motor Speedway, got that race in, and there was a problem with one of the trailers. They noticed that the brakes were pretty bad. And so they decided, well, let's take it up.
Or non-existent.
Yeah, or non-existent, yeah. Let the truck do all the work, that kind of thing. And it just doesn't happen when things are that heavy.
Right.
So they decided that I was expendable for the next race. So they told me to hook up and pull that trailer up to Brooklyn, Michigan. That was our home office for Penske Racing up there. And so they said, just haul it up there. Let those mechanics work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pull out of there. I run up, what is that, 81 that goes past Bristol, goes north.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I hit Interstate 77, which runs through Charlotte and up that way. So I'm into West Virginia. And West Virginia is so pretty to drive through.
It is.
I love that state. And but believe it or not, on the interstate, and I'm in a truck. I'm sitting up high. I'm coming up a hill. I can't see over it. Wish I could have.
Oh no.
Because I crested that hill, and I'm cooking right along, thinking that, okay, this is wide open out here. I shouldn't have any trouble. And the one place I had trouble was where I couldn't see. I crested that hill on a 4-lane. There's the backup, but it was only in the right lane.
Oh no.
It was in the right lane. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, hard on the brakes. The problem is only the truck has brakes. So the trailer is still pushing at the same rate of speed it was going. Nothing changed on the trailer. The trailer was still doing 65. So I've got the trailers pushing me, and it can't push anymore, so it goes sideways. I look in my mirror. I'm jackknifing now.
Oh no.
I've got about 4 cars and then a crew of people working on the side of the road. And I'm like, ugh, and I didn't even look in the left lane. I just went.
Yeah.
Because that was my only option. Hit the gas, straighten this thing out, and get over in that left lane, or I'm going to collect all these people and kill some of them.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was so heavy. I'm like, this is over for them. And so I get around them, but it ain't over for me. I'm looking in my mirror because I'm thinking, who did I just push into the median?
Right. Who was on the left side?
Who was on the left side? And I literally had no choice. That was sure death for them.
Yeah, if you didn't make that move.
And driving somebody off into a massive center section.
Right.
That they would just spin in, usually.
Hopefully.
And
not roll.
And because it wasn't like anything crazy. It wasn't a short one with just a massive guardrail in the center. It was just wide open. And heart's in your throat. I get it, I get over there, and I keep looking. For about a mile, I kept looking back. I'm like, God, I can't believe it. I was that lucky. And sure enough, I was.
So
and,
you didn't hit anybody?
Didn't hit anybody. And I don't even know if the folks working even knew anything about it. They probably weren't even looking up. No sign, no flagman, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my God, that really just happened? So I hopped off in Marietta, Ohio, across the river. I'm into Ohio, Marietta. It's like, I'm going to eat lunch.
Let me sit down for a minute.
Yeah, I think I'll just take it easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds scary.
Oh, it was.
I've had moments like that where you got to slam on your brakes or, leave in and out.
Yeah. Mine, and I'm not going to get too involved in it. I don't know if you've heard this story or not, but I know I've talked about it on the podcast before, so I won't go too much into it. But again, out on the road, driving a big rig, Dale Earnhardt Sr. rig, co-driving with the guy that was his rig. Well, he was the one that drove that rig. And we're going through Wyoming. And I'm driving. He's in the sleeper, taking a nap. All of a sudden, the fucking wind starts blowing. And the whole thing just flipped over on its side.
No.
Slid about 200 yards down the side of the road. And it's a good thing I had my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Real good thing.
Yeah, that was... You wouldn't think the wind could blow something like that over, but it happens more than you think.
I think sometimes when trucks and SUVs are heavier, it's for some reason it's easier for them to flip on their side, especially SUVs or like big like Broncos. I've seen Broncos go on their side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I don't know why. They just fall harder, I guess.
Fast enough wind to lift. and the wind will lift.
Well, and these rigs aren't like a normal tractor trailer you see going down the road,
Right.
or when you go up next to them, the bottom of the trailer is almost at eye level.
Right.
These are all low profile.
Right.
So
right.
there was like, 6 or 8 inches of daylight between the road and the bottom of the trailer. So it's basically just a sail at that point when an 80, 90 mile an hour gust of wind.
Yeah.
And it went up and started and it was blowing the trailer, and the truck was still trying to go on the road. And then it started lifting the truck up, and I'm like, this isn't happening. There's
But
no
was
way.
anybody hurt?
There's no way. The guy in the sleeper, Earl.
Earl.
Yep.
Screwed his knee up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it went down, and when it stopped, I had to undo my seatbelt, and I dropped down to the ground. I was actually standing where the passenger seat window was, but I was standing on the ground because there was no glass.
Right.
And pulled myself up with the steering wheel and the seat and pushed the door open and slid off the truck. And by then, a couple other trucks had stopped, and the guys were running down. And
Terrible.
they're like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "I'm fine." Earl was in the back going, "Oh," and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong, but he's obviously in pain. So, but fortunately, it was just he was on crutches for a couple weeks, sprained his knee or something. But yeah.
Scary.
It was definitely scary, and to this day, I don't like the wind.
Yeah.
No.
And I had to drive in it a few more times after that.
Oh, sure.
And
Nerve-wracking at that point.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
You don't forget flipping over. Fortunately, I was lucky enough not to.
Or hit anybody else.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was the thing. It's a good thing I was in the right lane and not in the left lane, and like there was a car, because if it went over, it would have landed on top of a car. So
what's interesting about those big trucks is I watched the truck in front of me, we were running together. Car comes down onto the interstate. I don't remember where this was, over near Winston-Salem or something. Car comes off down the ramp, comes in to his lane, bangs into the side of the trailer, and then catches the next exit off. Because he knows I just smashed into that trailer.
It was his fault.
His fault.
Yeah.
And I wasn't close enough to be any help except to get on the radio. And I called up ahead. I said, Kent, you just got run into. And he goes, I did? I said, yeah, your right rear got smashed into by a car.
Idea.
And I said, they took off the interstate. And I said, I'm no help to you on that. So you don't even realize it.
Yeah. They're big trucks.
Yeah. They don't. You just don't feel it.
Right. So one of my main scariest moments wasn't like a long travel truck drive. A friend of mine called me. She was in distress. I had to drive all the way up to Kannapolis. I was entertaining at this time, so I had to go pick her up. She worked with me. I went to go pick her up, and she was out of her mind. Like, I didn't realize she was...
Was this in your gold car?
No, this was my Volvo, or one of my Volvos. So I went to go get her. I picked her up. She was zooted out of her mind. She was with these men and doing all kinds of crazy drugs. And she needed me to take her to work. And I was like, you're not going to be able to work. And she was stressing me out. So anyways, we get down to North Tryon, and there was university. So back then there was like North Tryon went separate ways, but there was like grass in between. I don't know. There was a cut through to get to our job, and we were coming up, and she literally was like, go, go, go. And I went. I shouldn't have, because another car came down and hit me right in the driver's side door. And there was a big, I forget which Volvo it was, but it was big and square and blue. And literally we fell into the ditch. My car went up on its side and slammed back down.
Ooh.
She was a tiny thing. Her whole body went up against the windshield, and she didn't have her seatbelt on, and she fell down. I was just in shock. Like, I couldn't believe what just happened.
Right.
As we were in the ditch and the police were called, I was just sitting in my car, my dad worked at the Volvo dealership down the street,
Oh no.
and he was test driving a car with a lady
Yeah.
and drove past the accident. He was like, "That's my daughter," and he was like, "Let me out here. You take the car back." And so my dad was there.
Wow.
And then the cops drove us back to the Volvo dealership, and they put me in an office and just let me lay down and rest.
Wow.
And it was scary. And that girl went to work.
Wow.
She went to work.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, she's out of her freaking mind. It was. I mean, I was sore for days after that. But I mean, the Volvo saved my life, I think.
Yeah.
I got T-boned on University City Boulevard, but it was
Near
right
there?
before. Like you remember where World Market was?
No, where
It
what?
was World Market, Target, heading down out of Charlotte, heading into University.
Okay.
Where, there was a World Market and then a Target and
Is that where IKEA is now?
over
there?
in that vicinity. But,
Okay.
but yeah, I was coming across, going into the World Market, crossing University Boulevard,
Mm-hmm.
and a girl on her way to school, texting, didn't see the light turn, and T-boned me, passenger side, fortunately. And I saw her coming, and I was like, she's not stopping, so I gunned it as much as I could.
Yeah, well, this one was
And-
my fault for sure because I should not have gone. she was
Right,
know,
right.
she was pushing me to go, and I was like, fine. And it was just a risk that I took, and it was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I basically got spun in and totaled my car, but I drove it into the parking lot and went to fucking work.
Yeah.
Oh boy. What a way to go. I'm ready for work.
Like, I ain't
now.
got no way to get home, so I might as well go
Right,
unlock the
right.
fucking store and
Yeah.
go to
Right.
work.
I'm really ready
Well,
for
you
work.
weren't spinning around on poles, so.
No, but I had a cup of coffee, and that's why I had coffee, is because I had gone to the McDonald's across the street, went through the drive-thru and got a coffee.
Oh,
And was coming back across through the red light, and I got the green, and I was going across, and she hit me.
It
And
went
the
everywhere.
coffee spilled, and I thought I had blood on me because it was wet. It was just wet.
yeah.
And, and she admitted that it was her fault and all that, so.
Wow.
Yeah,
But-
it's scary.
But that wasn't my scary or crazy travel story necessarily, but it was like you said your friend went to work, and I was like,
yeah.
what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not driving this thing home, so
Yeah.
you also weren't high out of your mind either.
how do you know?
You may have been.
Yeah, really.
I hope not. Not
No, I
what she
wasn't.
was doing.
I wasn't. What do you got, Dan Lee? What's your next crazy,
Yeah, my
scary
next,
travel story?
Yeah, this I'm not crazy about flying, and I had to make a flight to Philadelphia from Rochester, New York. I was going to pick up a truck. It was getting close to wintertime, and I was working for a Dodge agency, and I had to go pick up a power wagon, so something you'd use to plow parking lots with. And
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
a big Dodge power wagon. So I don't like to fly. I'm flying into Philly, and it was the roughest flight I've ever been on. Every other flight I've ever been on was smooth, but this thing was terrible.
Like
and,
shaking.
Shaking, bumping. We even did a drop.
Turbulence?
Turbulence.
Turbulence?
Man. It was turbulence like I never saw. And
I'm sure y'all are quoting something and I'm clueless.
No, I just.
so anyways, I'm like, first the shaking was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. I'm okay, I guess. Then the drop really did me in. I was like, oh crap, that was the craziest thing. Wasn't very far, but we did drop in elevation.
Yeah.
That's scary.
And then it got bumpy as hell over because we were going around Philly, and it was just basically an early winter storm was going on, and the weather was just crazy, and it was nuts. And I was never so happy to get on the ground, but I was like, wow, I don't think I'll ever fly again. And of course I have and had to and
Yeah.
all of that, but I really shook me up.
You remember that one.
I
I don't
remember
have
that one.
a lot of airtime. I haven't flown.
I
a
haven't
lot.
either, but the first one was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure I told y'all about that one where I threw up in landing.
Yeah.
But that was my first flight ever, so I was
Right.
freaked out.
Yeah.
It's just more of a claustrophobia thing for me, not actually fear of flying.
Well,
It's
I
just
just
being
don't get how
trapped in with all these other fucking morons.
that doesn't bother me. I just don't understand how planes fly. I don't get it. Like, how are we doing this?
Really,
Yeah.
really strong engines.
Really, really strong.
Damn gnat flying
Hey,
around.
I know,
you
it was
know,
messing with me
I'm-
earlier.
There are gnats. Hey,
Literally landed on my goddamn face.
just check this out. There are gnats, and then there's that guy over there.
Oh
But
shit!
What is
but-
that?
That guy's not bothering anybody.
He
He's
looks
just
like a stinger. He looks like he's got a stinger.
yeah, he's one of those guys.
Why is he here?
I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
we're gonna
He's
take our break
looking at me.
now and get rid of it. So we'll be back in a few. Well, before we were so rudely interrupted by a wasp
Right.
on the
He
fucking
was-
lamp, and I almost moved that lamp today
Uh-huh.
because it's almost too bright. It's in a bad spot for me to edit. I like the light, but it shines on my screen on my computer over
It's
there.
actually a pretty dim light, though.
I know, but it shines right off the whole left part of my screen,
Gotcha.
and it pisses me off.
Ah,
So I think I'm gonna have a crow
a crow.
over here somewhere.
Oh, the crow.
Yeah,
The crow.
got a new crow lamp. I'll have to show you when we're done.
The crow.
An actual crow?
But
Actual crow.
yeah, it's a crow. Carries a light bulb around.
Okay.
Has a light bulb deal.
I think
Dan-
we were on you.
No, Dan Lee was talking about his plane flight,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and then we saw something in flight over here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Because it was way
was
too
too
close
close.
to me.
Right.
Back in when I lived in New York,
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for a company called R&L Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tobacco, sundries, novelty. Like we delivered to mom and pop stores and stuff like that. Their cigarettes and shit like that. And in January we had a thaw, so all the snow melted off the hills and everything.
Yeah.
So the rivers started rising.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out on route, and I got to one stop, and they were like, I don't know if you can get into Addison because
Right.
I'm hearing the bridge is washed over, and this was a pretty good sized bridge too.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
well, I had to try because I didn't know what else to do, and so I'm going down the road, and the water on both sides, usually it's just fields,
Mm-hmm.
was right up a 2-lane road.
Oh, wow.
And it's just rushing, and I'm like, and it's starting to get cold again, and it's snowing, sleeting, raining, so the roads might get icy, and I'm like,
Gosh.
Yeah.
and then I got to a certain point where like fire trucks had blocked the road, and they were like actually getting people out of their houses who got trapped in their houses with like ropes and shit. And they're like, yeah,
This is
Addison
insane.
Bridge is washed out. So I turned around, went back to the last stop, called. This is like pre-cell phone, so I had to go somewhere to make a call.
Get
And I'm
it,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do because I can't finish the route because I can't get into Addison.
Right.
And they're like, well, all right, just backtrack, try to get back. Well, I couldn't because I was on the wrong side of the river,
Oh, God.
and so like every bridge was washed out. I couldn't get back, so I went back to that last stop because it was like dry land. It was the only fucking place I could find dry land. And I got back there, and they were like, well, you're just gonna have to try to get over there and get you with a 4-wheel drive or something like that. Go up over the hills and go high and get across. And my cousin Tim is on his way, and so I just had to lock the van, and I had to obviously take the cash money with me, and he made it over there finally, and then we started going back, but things had even gotten worse then. And we're like 4-wheel driving through the woods trying to find a place to cross
Wow.
the river to get
Wow.
back to his house.
Yikes.
And even remember where they lived down at that was washed over, so we
Yeah,
couldn't even come in
that's
from
right.
that way.
That little
'Cause
bridge
that little-
right down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was completely covered in water.
Yeah.
And that was the same year that KTB's house almost got flooded. His basement got flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Carrie was down there with a sump pump just pumping out
Oh, wow.
the water out of the basement. And that was when I had my drums, and he had that nice bar built in the barn.
Right.
And
right.
the water was with inches of going inside the barn. And there was a hot tub, a bar. My drums were out there, a pool table.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's scary.
But and this has nothing to do with the actual travel part of it. The travel part of it was, basically driving down that road and going like, this is a lot of water.
Yeah.
A lot of water. And but when the water receded, it had gotten back to January weather in New York. It was cold again.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, street signs, telephone poles, trees, they all had rings of ice.
Oh, wow.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is I have no pictures of it or anything.
Yeah.
But it was the craziest thing. You just look out and everything that was coming out of the ground about 2 or 3 feet off the ground had like this ring of ice around it. It was
That's
so
weird how
crazy.
it stays there and freezes like that.
Yeah, it was so
As
because when
it's
the water went
receding.
down, it froze, and then the water, and then it just left these rings. It was so freaking crazy.
That is
Oh gosh, yeah.
weird.
It is crazy.
But yeah, that was one of my scariest or crazy. But I wasn't like freaking out, scared or anything.
I mean,
but-
I've been in a situation where the water was way too high. I turned down the wrong street. I was trying to go to this place and I passed it. So I had to go down into a neighborhood to turn around. And I turned down the wrong street and my car was in the water. And
Yeah.
I could feel it pulling me. And that was kind of
Right,
scary. It was a quick
right.
moment, but I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, and it didn't take a whole lot of water to do it.
Right.
That's the
right.
thing with what we were talking about earlier about the wind being able to lift you or the water push you. It's
Mother
people-
Nature.
your car is heavy, but and then the big trucks are extremely heavy, 80,000 pounds, but they're going over.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't drive anything that doesn't have roof flaps now because of the wind.
Roof flaps.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. If you have to make your own damn roof flaps, you're going to do it.
Well, I was going to mention, and this is kind of like a broad spectrum of travel, but we traveled a lot, Ohio to Maryland to North Carolina. We go through Virginia, West Virginia, always a nice ride and pretty. My dad was always demanding to be the driver. He can't now, but we always had we'd switch seats and sometimes I'd be in the front seat. Every single long trip, my dad would almost fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
And he would make me slap him on the leg or slap him in the face to keep him awake. But he refused to let anybody else drive.
Uh-huh.
And I was a child, The only other person that could drive is my mom, and he sure ain't going to let my sister drive. She had her driver's license, but it was scary to me as a kid that it's my responsibility to keep this man awake and not fucking wreck us.
Right.
But he was so stubborn that mom can't drive. And yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I remember that. It was scary
So
a lot of the times.
So you were watching him. Were you?
I was watching him as he's driving, and when he's
watching
going
his-
like this, I got to smack him on
that's
the
right.
leg.
When the head goes down a little bit, that's it. Yeah.
And he would not pull over for nothing.
Wow.
I mean, rest stop for bathroom, but we're not resting.
Wow.
He's got to get there.
Yeah.
But that was always scary to me as a
Oh,
child.
yeah. I imagined it was.
Yeah. Traumatizing, actually.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
To this day, she slaps herself on the leg all the time when she's driving, just out of the blue.
Yeah. No, right. No, I will pull over and I will sleep in my car if I'm getting too sleepy.
Yeah.
It's just dangerous.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a smart thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Wow.
one of my scary, and that's many of trips, many of travel times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Gosh.
but then it's opposite for my mom. She scares me now. Riding with her, she's so fucking slow. I'm like, Mom.
yeah.
And what it is she'll start talking, and she can't talk and drive at the same time. When she gets into a story or talking about something,
So
she's
she
just
slows
slowing
down.
down. I'm like, let's just get there first. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
That's scary too.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Because if people aren't paying attention, they're going to come up on you real fast.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I don't want to pick on my grandmother, my late grandmother, but she was adamant that she was going to drive until the very end.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
but I remember one time at Colonial Lawns, Kevin and I were out doing yard work or something, and remember where the shop was, the garage, we called the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Her car was down over there somewhere.
Right.
Well, she backed out of there, and we were both standing there and watching her back out, and she had that blue Cutlass, I think
Right.
it was.
Yeah. With a Landau roof.
Yeah, and she's backing out of there, and she's doing like 20.
Absolutely.
But we watched her, and she was just straight ahead. No
Yeah.
looking in the mirror. She was just backing straight out of there.
Yeah.
Not even looking where she
looking.
was going. But she didn't hit anything.
Right.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
She didn't hit anything, but we're like, holy shit.
Your grandfather taught her well. Just keep that steering wheel straight.
I'm pretty sure my grandfather on my dad's side, he was the same. He was going to have his license. But I think they even gave it to him like when he needed surgery for cataracts.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are y'all still giving him his license? Yeah, he was a stubborn man as well.
Uh-huh.
My grandmother actually wasn't a bad driver. It was not like she got in a bunch of accidents or anything.
Right. Right. She was.
Fortunately.
Maybe
Yeah.
she was just lucky.
It could be, but I mean, I used to ride with her, and you know, she didn't scare me. But that one time she was backing up and not looking where she was going, that scared me a little bit. I was like, damn.
Beverdeen was hauling ass.
Yeah, she did have a lead foot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She was always in a hurry to get where she was going, anyways.
Yeah,
Definitely.
same with my father. Would not stop.
It kind of rubbed off on me. I'm always like, that's why I get so pissed when people are at a red light and the light. I'm like 5 cars back and the light turns green and I don't see brake lights going off. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, people? It's been green for 5 minutes. Pedals on the right. Doesn't get any greener. And then
I don't know if I could ride in a car with you.
inevitably, by the time I get to the light, it's already red again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because some pudnik was fucking looking at his phone.
Yeah, probably.
And
mean,
now I'm
It's nice to forgive.
a minute and a half later than I was going to be to begin with. I don't have time like that.
That's right.
Gosh.
That's exactly what Bev would have said.
All right, Danilee, what's your next
All
craziest, scariest, or
My
whatever?
next scariest moment takes us to Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie,
So,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So
Wintertime or summertime?
May.
May, so spring.
Spring, definitely. Right on the edge of summer. So I'm there with my mom. We went down for Mother's Day.
Okay.
And we were driving back to where we lived in Western New York. So we head out. It's May 9th. And it's about a half an hour into it, it started snowing.
Yeah.
And it started really snowing.
In May?
May 9th.
What?
Yeah.
Snowing hard. It got to the point I couldn't see. That's how hard of a snowstorm. We're still south of Buffalo. I mean, Erie's not that far from Buffalo,
Yeah.
but pretty good little spread. But you could drive it pretty quickly. And it was just one of the scary because I mean, it was so
blinding
dangerous.
you. Yeah.
Everyone was blinded. Everybody was still trying to go though.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Couldn't see.
I mean, it's like that with rain here sometimes for me. It's like coming down so hard that it's scary. You can't see.
Mm-hmm.
But May? I'm so confused. Why
May 9th. May 9th. I'll never forget it.
How is it still snowing?
Canada sending us another storm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. And they come across the Great Lakes. So in the case of Buffalo, it could have either been Lake Ontario or Lake Erie. Either way,
Yeah.
it was coming in. And
Lake effect.
And we just
That's what they call it. Lake
Picks-
effect
Really?
snow. Yeah.
picks up all this moisture off the lakes as it's coming.
'Cause those are big lakes.
Yeah.
Big
the
lakes.
Great Lakes. Yeah, you're like on the ocean when you're out in the middle of the Great Lakes. You can't see land.
Huh.
And so, wow, it was awful. I was never so glad. We finally we were east of Buffalo before you could really take a breather.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And the whole way you're thinking, God, this is May. What the hell? But
Yeah.
Scary. You remember the moment though, for sure.
Yeah, I could, like yesterday, I can see it. It was rough.
This is not so much a scary road trip, but the snow in May thing.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a year at Genesee Community College.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that?
Lived there in Batavia, New York.
Okay.
So between Rochester and Buffalo.
Okay.
And I was taking an outdoor camping class as like an elective class.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the semester, the teacher was really cool. And he's like, we're all going to go to, I guess, I think it was Letchworth.
Letchworth State
We went to
Park.
Letchworth State Park to
Right.
camp. And the
Beautiful,
whole class.
beautiful place.
And we got up there, beautiful day. It's in the middle of May. It's in the 70s. And we're out there playing Frisbee and drinking beer and having a good old time and everything. Well, later in the day, it starts to rain, so we hunker down underneath the pines and get a fire going. We're all sitting down there. And of course, most of us brought tents. There was a couple girls that like brought their dad's camper. And he's like, this was not what the outdoor camping class was all
bougie
about,
girls.
but like this isn't part of your grade. This was just a fun thing to do at the end of the
Right.
class. But anyways, I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm soaking wet from about my nipples all the way down to my toes. And I'm like,
Because it's just hot.
freezing. No, freezing.
Oh.
And I brought a friend with me. He wasn't in the class, but everybody was allowed to bring a friend if they wanted to. And this was just a pup tent. So I unzipped the pup tent. There's like a foot of snow on the ground.
Oh.
So I climb out, and my car is like right on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I climb out. The first thing I do is get in the car, start it up,
Heat it up.
get the heat going. Then I get my bag and get some dry clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go wake up my buddy. And I'm like, dude, you're going to be cold. The car's warm now.
Yeah, right?
Go get in the car. So he gets up. He's like, holy shit, what the hell?
Yeah, really.
And so
You
he
gotta
gets in the
dig out
car.
of there.
The pup tent, I just ripped it all out of the ground and threw it in the trunk of the fucking car.
Yeah,
I didn't even like try to take it down. I just ripped it all,
right.
threw it in the
Fix it
trunk.
later.
Oh yeah.
And but we're on our way back to the apartments we lived in, and I spun out and landed in a ditch.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
Scary.
Oh,
And
awful.
we're both hungover, and like fortunately somebody came with a truck and pulled us out.
Wow.
We made it back,
Dang.
but yeah, snow in May,
Yeah.
it happens. And this was like a lot of snow. Like
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
this was like a
Sure.
foot of friggin' snow
Oh yeah.
in May.
Yeah.
It's serious.
And the day before, it was like I said, 70 degrees. We're out throwing frisbees, and
So weird.
you know,
what? How many feet of snow did Buffalo get in that one storm this year?
oh,
Was it like?
Oh yeah, my friend
it
is
like
in Medina,
s-
and
oh, in
it was
Medina,
yeah,
sure.
it was
Yeah.
bad.
All right.
It was bad. She was telling us about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's over that way. I've been in Medina before.
Yeah, she said it. I mean, yeah, she was very worried about,
Oh, huh.
especially homeless people out
Oh,
there. Yeah.
Oh, it's wicked. It's freaking wicked over
I
there.
forgot about that.
yeah. The last few years, Buffalo's gotten hammered with
Sure.
some storms,
Yeah.
but they get that lake effect snow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually seen video where it's like time lapse video of the lake effect
As you
snow
s-
rolling in,
Yeah,
and it's just like,
that's crazy.
and you can see the snow just going, just
Yeah.
getting higher and higher.
Yep.
It'd probably be a cool video to watch, but
Yeah.
that's scary.
Yeah, you know, the buildings or whatever in town have the cameras on top of them and stuff like that.
Right.
And then they just sped up the video. It's
Yeah.
crazy watching it come in.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Just a huge snow squall just coming in off the lake,
Mm-hmm.
just engulfing the place.
Never happens when you want to go skiing, but
No.
it gets you at all these other times.
And we lived, like where we lived was every once in a while we'd get a big snowstorm like that.
Sure.
But we lived out of that belt. Didn't get the lake effect. So like if Buffalo got 4 feet, we'd get like a foot.
2 inches or,
Or
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
inches, 8
Right.
inches, a
It was
foot,
minor.
you know. But yeah, I had to jump in with the snow in May thing because
Yeah, it's weird to me.
it is weird.
But I haven't been up north for a winter in a very, very, very long time, so I'm just don't remember probably.
It's snowing up there right now, actually.
Bullshit.
No, I was looking at my weather app on my phone. I think they're up to like 2 feet,
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
and it's May.
I don't think so.
All right, so I'm lying.
Yeah. This time.
Again.
That's more like it again.
Yeah.
All right. Any more? Any
I
more
thought you
crazy? Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought you were.
Well,
going I do have more.
Briefly, I'm just going to say, because we talked about it last week, so I'm not going to get into it again. But the trip up to the studio, it wasn't really scary, but it was crazy. A crazy trip up
It
with all
was.
that snow.
It was crazy.
But another like music band related thing was when I got my Yamahas,
Right.
the big giant chrome Yamaha double bass kit.
And that was in Syracuse.
We bought it in Syracuse.
Bought it in
but
Syracuse.
It got shipped to your house in Canandaigua.
Oh, that's right.
I was living
that's
in
right.
Bath,
Uh-huh.
and it came in, and Trace and I, the guitar player, we were bound and determined we were getting up to the house to get those drums.
Right.
Major snowstorm.
Oh,
major friggin' snowstorm. Snowflakes so big that like you were like you couldn't even drive because all you saw was like white chunks coming at you. Like I was just looking at the ditch going, just keep it on the road.
That's very bizarre. It really is because it's like watching tracers.
Oh yeah, I mean it was hypnotizing almost.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but we made it up there and we carried the drums out, and it was a Ford Escort. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Ford Escort.
It was
that I
the Ford
driving.
Escort wagon.
Like, we are
Because I had
going to get
acquired the
them.
Ford. Yeah, and we had to drive back, and you're only talking like 45 minutes an hour.
Who was with you?
Trace.
Trey. Okay.
Trace, yeah.
Trace. Well, he must have had drums in his lap because there was no way that big kit.
I think he
Yeah.
did. I think we.
Oh my
The
gosh.
whole car was full.
Oh my god, that was a big drum kit.
Doesn't sound comfortable.
Well, because the next rehearsal with the chrome Yamahas are going to be set up.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It was worth it, I guess.
Ready to rock.
Oh, it was definitely worth it. But this was not. I mean, it was a little hairy, but I'm not going to say scary because it was like
Yeah.
I mean,
You were too excited to be scared.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All
Oh
right.
man.
But that was my next one.
I've got so many. I guess I was on the right page. So, which one should I mention? This isn't really car traveling or plane traveling.
Boat,
No, not even boat.
feet.
We got to the mountains for my friend's birthday and we did zip lining. And we thought it was going to be zip lining through the woods and fun, short little zip lines. I'd never done it before in my life. Did a couple in the woods. So we're moving. That's traveling, right? Zip lining.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The third line, we literally went over a huge, I don't know what you even call it. It was like an empty river.
Like a valley.
Oh my God. We had to have been like
Ravine.
thousands of feet up.
Oh no.
Scared the fuck out of me.
No.
Yeah, that would be a little bit hairy.
And
Dan
they didn't
Lee
even
doesn't
tell
like
us.
heights, so
Oh no.
Listen, a ravine? I don't know what you call it. It was just
A canyon.
canyon.
There you
Yes.
go, canyon.
Yes. I'm telling you, and then sometimes people can't get all the way across.
Oh, no.
So you have to scoot
Oh,
the
you're
rest of
kidding.
the way.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm telling
He's
just
having a
talking-
panic attack
yeah,
right now.
talking
just
about it,
thinking
I'm getting the chills. I will never do it again because
No.
they didn't tell us,
No.
and it
Wow.
was so scary. It was
Wow.
very scary.
That's insane.
I wish I had one of them GoPros,
Oh.
hooked up to me so people could see.
Right.
I mean, if you fell, it'd be over.
Oh sure.
Oh.
And
sure.
and you'd have time to think about it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Before you hit the
For a
ground.
while.
I'm telling you, it was terrible.
I don't even know what I would say. As soon as I hit that open part, I'd be, this can't be. That's all I'd be thinking. This can't be.
Well, and then we got to the other side. Finally, everybody. I think there were like 5 or 6 of us that went, and we got to the other side, and so we did a few more short ones. But then we got on top of this rock, and now they want us to freaking hook up to lines and rock climb down.
Wow.
I'm like, this was not part of the deal.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't trust these zip line people.
No.
But yeah, that
No.
was a crazy one.
Sounds fun.
Scary. Yeah.
Sounds kind
I don't know. I think you'd freak the fuck out if you went over that.
of, nothing scares
Oh,
me.
I would.
Oh,
I'd
whatever.
I would be able to sleep again.
Yeah,
I'd
it
be
was.
too afraid to close my eyes.
Yeah.
I like John's zip line in his backyard next to the pool. That was fun.
Oh, a little
Yeah.
one. That's funny.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. Right from the
Dawn.
deck
Yeah.
into the pool.
Yeah. Exactly. Gosh.
All right, Dan Lee, what do you got?
So,
Pick a good one because we're only going to be able to do a couple more each, I think.
okay. So it is around 1970. And
Everything happened in 1970.
that's right.
I just love the dates.
That was a good year for you, or a bad year. One depends on how you
that was
look
a
at
good
it.
one. It was
I just
okay.
like that you open with dates.
Yeah, I got to open with dates. And we're making a trip to the Thousand Islands in my VW Bug.
The Thousand Islands.
Mm-hmm.
The dressing.
No. When so if you were in the eastern section of Lake Ontario,
Okay.
you'd be now entering the St. Lawrence River, which
Mhm.
curves around the top of the state and eventually dumps into the Hudson. So there's a little, talk about topography and water and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
so
I never heard
the
of those.
Thousand Islands,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's actually 1,000
No,
islands.
no. I looked this up when we were doing corrections and updates.
Is there
I can't
actually
remember.
more than 1,000?
Can't remember. It's like 1,836 or
wow.
something like that.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're some of them are amazingly beautiful.
I bet.
And some
Oh,
of
it's
them are just
gorgeous.
a rock sticking out of the wall.
Right.
Yeah, with a little flag on it. Somebody
You can stand
went
on
over.
your toe and
Yeah.
be on top.
So right in the middle of the St. Lawrence River with big tankers going by.
All right, so you were heading to.
The Thousand Islands
Uh-huh.
to visit the grandparents.
Okay.
And my buddy Jimmy was driving my VW Bug, which I loved,
We know.
1965. And I fell asleep. I woke up to the car spinning down the center of the road,
No.
blew out a tire in the rear, and it was raining.
Mm.
And he's fighting the wheel, and I wake up, and I look, I go, forget it, Jimmy, you lost it.
Oh my God.
And then we cross the road. There's kids on the side carrying their fishing poles, and they're like, "Yay, look at that!" I'll never forget listening to them as we went by. And we went down.
Like you were doing tricks.
Right, on purpose.
We go down the embankment, rolls over on its top at the bottom, and of course, a lot of stuff dumped out, clothes, blew out the back window, and all that.
Oh
And
my goodness.
the only interest I had was where's my Traffic album that I bought.
He
in
had
Lake
just
George.
bought a new Traffic album.
Yeah, John Barleycorn Must Die, and I was like, I got to find my record.
Damn it.
Took the plastic off it. I was like, oh God, it didn't
It
break.
was in one piece.
Yeah, I was so happy.
That's funny.
But my beloved VW Bug, oh gosh. So those kids ran and got their father and uncle, and they came. We pushed it back over, and I drove it up out of there. It started
So
right
wait,
up.
you fell asleep while you were driving, or
While
somebody
Jimmy,
else was?
Jimmy
okay.
was driving.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
he was driving, and like I said, I woke up to him fighting the wheel and trying vainly.
Yeah. I mean, talk about scary and falling asleep. My niece went to go visit my other niece, her sister, up in Boone, and she had been working a lot. And my sister called me and told me about it. And she fell asleep going up there and on the mountain and literally hit
Oh.
the side rail on a mountain.
Wow.
Like she could have gone over, but luckily she didn't. She didn't hit anybody else, but it fucked her car up. But
Oh,
like
yeah.
she fell asleep. And it's scary on
It
a mountain.
happens. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. No.
you gotta go ahead and finish the story up
Oh,
here
sorry.
because they changed the tire.
Yeah,
Got a new piece of rubber on it.
yeah. Changed the tire. Rolled while it was still on its roof, and we pushed the car over. And the guy said, "Get in, see if it'll start." I got in, turned the key, it started right up, and I was like, "Yep, that's a Volkswagen Bug for you. No matter what they go through,
Oh,
they'll
so you
still
didn't even have
start."
to tow it.
No, they drove it to his grandparents.
Yeah.
And then back home.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I drove it around for about a month. And then I thought, "Damn it, I got to get rid of this car. I should have kept it. I was such an idiot." But when we got to the door, my grandmother looked. We knocked on the door, and she hadn't seen us in a while. Jimmy had real long hair, and I had long hair, and she stood there looking at us. She's looking at him, looking at me, and she goes, "Danilee?" I go, "Hey, Grandma." She didn't recognize me.
Oh,
It was
wow.
crazy. Yeah,
It was 1970.
and then
the
she
hair.
Did you have a mustache or anything?
I had probably a little scraggly beard that I was trying to grow at the time.
I think mustaches were.
Oh, they were big.
They were big.
They were real big. Yeah, mustaches were big. It's huge.
Exactly.
So
you were going to do that and you didn't. He was going to grow his mustache out and do the curly thing.
yeah,
Really?
and then I thought better of it, and your mom said, "I'm going to kill you if you do that."
Off subject, but what my dad used to do, like, he would tell everybody at like church or whatever that he'd grow his beard out, and then there'd be the Super Bowl, and if his team wins, he gets to keep his beard or shave it off, whatever he wants to do. But if his team loses, he can only shave half.
Oh,
of it.
no kidding.
And
That's
then he had to live that way for like a week or so.
Yeah.
really. I think I had shaved the lower half.
No, it's got to be this side or that side.
No, left or right.
So
that's,
weird.
That's a bad choice.
He's so corny.
I've,
But
no,
it's
I've
funny.
done that shit, but
Yeah,
I haven't
really.
like gone out in public that way.
Right.
I've just done
Just
it.
do it.
And I just go out like Kyle's
Walk
like,
out.
Kyle's like, and then I was just be like, and she'd be like,
Probably the only thing she would tell you is, "I dare you."
That's funny.
all right, let's see here. I got to tell this one, I guess, for Mother's Day, because this was really funny. I was helping you guys drive, probably in a Rusty Wallace rig.
Yeah.
We were down in like Louisiana or somewhere in a major
Oh.
rainstorm. I mean, you were talking about rain where you can't see and
Yeah.
shit.
Mississippi.
Was it Mississippi?
On our way to Vicksburg.
Okay. Mississippi. A huge rainstorm comes through.
Yeah.
Dan Lee's sitting in the passenger seat. I'm driving. I
Mhm.
can't see a fucking thing.
No.
But I turn around and look in the back, and my mom's in the sleeper. And the sleepers have like these safety nets that you can put over.
Yeah.
Like, so, like if something happens, you don't fly out.
Right.
It was just fucking hilarious because she's just laying back there with her arms
Like a
straight
little
down,
cocoon.
and this thing's all over her. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. She was.
It's fucking hilarious.
She was ready for anything at that point.
but the way she was just laying straight as straight as a board, her
Oh,
arm
yeah.
down to her
Wrapped
side.
up. That is
Everything,
funny.
toes crossed. But that was wicked. That was like being in a hurricane.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
It was like
I mean,
being
you
in-
couldn't see anything.
Trees were like, well, there was a tree that went across the road at some point into the median in front of us. I remember, or it was on the other side. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
it was on the other side of the road, and I saw it come. I was like,
It was right before that cow went across.
the cow in the air.
No, that did.
In the air.
The tree did, but not the cow.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
You guys called me a liar, so I'm going to lie on
You're
this one.
gonna
Yeah,
lie
we're
all
gonna
the
lie
time.
our way through this one.
And I'm gonna look like the dummy because I'm gonna believe everything. All right, my turn. So this one is kind of. A lot of them have to do with my dad. So there was a time when I was a bad child, bad teen.
Really?
Yeah, and
We want all the gory details.
I mean, eventually, sure. I'm pretty sure I ran away, and the first ride was scary because the cops had to bring me back to the house because my
Ooh.
parents put out, go
Oh,
find
yeah.
our daughter.
Right.
A friend snitched on me,
Uh-huh.
and I was telling the cops that I didn't want to go home because my dad beat me.
Oh,
He spanked
Jesus.
us. He spanked us. My dad was, old school. But I really did not want to go home. So there's a place called Gatlin for bad teenagers. And the cops were like, well, you can either go home with your dad or we're going to take you to Gatlin, which is like a kid prison jail or whatever. And I was like, fuck. So they took me home. They talked to my dad and was like, don't put your hands on her, whatever. My mom's crying. She's mad at me. And then the next day, my dad had to go on a business trip. And he said, you're coming with me.
Wow. Oh, business
So,
trip.
he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with you right now, but you're coming with me right now.
How
And
boring would that be?
I sat in the back seat and tried to sleep the best I could, but I was scared as fuck the whole trip.
Oh,
I
gosh.
was like, what is he going to do with me? Like,
Where-
I didn't know
where-
if he was taking me somewhere to
Oh,
drop
yeah,
me
I was
off.
gonna say, where's he taking me? Where's
Right.
he taking me?
Like, I knew I was in trouble, but like, I had no clue. He could have been taking me to Gatlin.
We're going to
right.
Gatlin.
Yeah, I forget where we went. I want to say we probably went up north to like Virginia or whatever, but that whole trip was so, we didn't talk at all.
Oh,
No speaking.
silence.
No speaking. The only nice thing he did for me was gave me some change so I could go to the payphone, and he actually let me call my boyfriend, which
How old were you?
14,
Okay.
13, 14. Yeah.
Okay.
It was scary though. Like I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared of my dad when I was younger. You know, he was definitely old school about punishment.
Uh-huh.
But just the fact that he said, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you.
Yeah.
That's like a scary statement. So that van ride was pretty crazy for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And I don't even remember what happened when we got back. I think he just wanted to force me to go with him and, you know,
Right.
Scary. He
make
just
it
wanted
an
to scare
awkward,
you.
yeah, make it an awkward moment,
Right. Right.
you know. So
It's called, what do they call that? Tough love.
I guess, it was a whole thing though. I just wanted to hang out with my friends all the time. I didn't want to be at the house.
Imagine
so,
that.
Yeah.
At
Right.
14.
I don't know if this is the same time, but I was grounded already, and I begged my dad to let me go trick or treating with my friends,
Oh yeah.
and we all dressed up as like gangsters with like flannel shirts and fake guns, and then I ran away that night. I never came home, and then that's
Uh-huh.
when everything
Well,
went to
that
shit.
opens a whole new light on the situation.
Right.
But anyways, that van ride was scary.
And what was that feeling like? You're like, I'm free.
Yeah. I was like,
Until
he
you
let me
weren't.
go. We just went trick or treating and then never came back.
Right. And then you had to take a van ride.
Right.
Oh yeah. To Gatlin.
All right, Danielle, what do you got?
Okay. Where am I?
I got several, but we're not going to be able to get through them all. Marnie's got to go home and work,
Yeah. I gotta do some work.
so we can't go too long today. Well, Danielle,
Wow.
you look. I'm going to go
Wow.
Did you find one?
Yeah, I already talked about it. I got out of I don't know 1 from 2 apparently. So you better go.
Okay. I was going to say, don't say it's 1970 and I'm in my 65 Beetle.
Oh gosh.
I got a couple more, and we'll wrap this thing up here pretty quick. So, the Texas tornado is what I called it. I was driving into Texas with the rig, and the sky was just purple and yellow, and I'm like, something's getting ready to happen.
It was weird
Yeah.
looking.
Something's
Yeah.
getting ready to happen. And all I want to do is get this rig to the track, drop the trailer, and get back to the hotel.
Right.
And I know I've probably talked about this on the podcast before, but I did make it to the track, got back to the hotel. Then a tornado warning came, and they were telling everybody, we were all staying at the same hotel.
Right.
They were telling everybody to get down into this one part of the hotel, and I was like, I was on the ground floor. I'm like, fuck that, I ain't going nowhere.
Right. I don't wanna
Stairwell
be with
right
all those
outside the
people.
door. That's where I'm going. I am not going to be around a bunch of people. And the hail came, and the tornado did come, hit just probably 2 miles, mile and a half, 2 miles from the hotel we were staying at.
Yeah, because it actually came about to the area of the hotel. We were on Meacham Boulevard, by the way,
Yeah.
north of Fort Worth. It lifted, went over the top of us, got really close to Fort Worth, and then came right down in the city and hit a suburb, of course. And then I don't know if all the big buildings and all the tearing apart of the tornado, all the different vortexes and stuff. Maybe it just fell apart then, but There was one building that had to be torn down.
Yeah, it blew all the glass out of it and everything. They
Yeah.
ended up having to just take the building down.
Some
Never been
I don't
in a
know,
tornado.
40, 50 floors or something.
So
Yep.
you saw
Big.
it while no, it
No,
happened
no,
after
it was
you parked.
nighttime, and so you couldn't see it
Mhm.
or anything. But the hail that was coming down was big hail.
Yeah,
Like,
rocks.
oh yeah, probably close to baseball size hail.
Wow.
It was just getting dark when Kim and I we had dropped off the trailer at the racetrack in Fort Worth, and we made it to the hotel, and it was a mess. But the sky was green, and it was just rolling.
Oh yeah, I mean, you
rolling.
just knew
clouds,
something was going to happen. Like, this just isn't a regular storm.
clouds,
Yeah.
clouds
This is-
are green.
Never been in one or near one.
When you're in Texas or Kansas and you see that,
Mhm.
Right.
Well, I know when Hugo happened in Charlotte, when it was like right after we moved here.
89.
Yeah. And I know there were small tornadoes that hit,
Sure.
not near us, but I remember seeing that they went through a couple neighborhoods, but they were smaller ones. They were just taking trees down, you know.
yeah, most of the tornadoes that hit in this area are compared to the ones
Yeah, they're not big.
in Tornado Alley. I mean, they're still super destructive, and
Yeah.
they're because the ones that hit, like, we're lucky because a lot of the bad storms that hit, like Mississippi, Louisiana, even into some of like Georgia and stuff.
Hurricanes and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
not even the hurricanes necessarily, but they get some pretty wicked freaking tornadoes down there and do a lot of
Do they?
destruction. Oh
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But by the time those storms make it up our way, they've usually calmed down a little bit,
Right.
and they spawn some of the smaller tornadoes that we might get around here
Right.
that take down trees or do damage to roofs and stuff like that. But
I mean, we are in a good spot. We don't get the up north weather. We don't get the down south weather. Like, we're kind of in the middle. We do get bipolar weather. It
Oh,
can't
you-
decide what the fuck it wants to do.
That's it.
But
it's snowing outside right now.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Big storm.
It was 85 degrees when we went out a little while ago.
Yeah.
now it's snowing.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Snowing now.
Let's
Yeah.
make some honey snow. Did y'all ever do that when you were younger? That was a thing we did
Honey
up north.
snow.
We'd get snow from outside. Make sure it's not yellow from the dogs peeing.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Right. We
Don't
put,
eat the snow. Period. No.
No,
But-
well, yeah. We would get a bowl and we'd put snow in the bowl and then we put a little bit of milk in it and then put honey in it and we would eat it.
Yeah. You make your own ice
Yeah.
cream.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I never did that, but
Yeah, my parents showed us that.
Mm-hmm.
I was partial to mud pies.
Mud pies. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You go out after
with-
it rains and you get mud. And you
With
put
a
it in a
note of
dish.
grass.
You bring it inside. You put a little honey in it. And stir it up.
Yeah. Then slap it on your face. Call it a mud pack.
Right,
You
right.
know, do that, and eat a little bit of it. Sure.
I only got one more that I want to get into.
Okay.
I'm gonna scratch the rest. If you got one, you want.
I've got a couple. One is too serious, I think, for this podcast. The second one is kind of simple. I was going up to Statesville to go pick up Cameron when he was a little baby because, they would get him every other weekend. Not his dad, his dad's parents. But I was going up there and I was driving my Mercury, I believe.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was blue. My back right tire blew out. I was all the way in the left lane. And it's been put in my head my whole life that you should not pull over on the left side. So immediately I was
Right.
like, I gotta get to the right side. I literally zoomed over, had to bob and weave over some cars, and I got to the right side. It scared the shit out of me.
Right.
Like, I felt my car, I saw sparks and everything.
Oh, sure.
But then, kind of even creepier, a guy pulled over to help me, and I mean, immediately looked sketchy as hell.
Did you mace him?
No, I was nice. I stayed in my car, but he came up. He said, "Girl, you drove that damn thing. I saw that whole thing. You did good. You did good. Can I help you?" And I was like, "No, I'm calling my husband right now. He's on his way." I hadn't even called him yet because
Right.
everything happened so quick. He was like, "All right, I'll just stay around till he gets here." No, please don't. I'm good. You know, it's daytime and everything, so that was cool. But finally, I talked him into like going on his way. But for a minute, I was like, "No, dude,
He had nothing
Please-
else to do.
please don't stay here." Yeah, he was definitely questionable.
Wow.
See, us as guys don't have to. I mean, you still have to worry about some crazy fucker,
Oh,
but
for sure.
not,
Yeah,
not like women have to worry about like the creepy.
yeah.
And he might have been the nicest guy. You
He
have
could
no
have been.
idea. You have no
Could
idea,
have been.
but it's not worth the fucking risk.
Right, and I've always been on alert.
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
I'm
I
just
mean,
that type of person. Like,
We as women have to be on alert all the time.
You do.
Did I just say that?
We as women.
but I have heard of actually my brother. Oh, I forgot about this. My brother pulled over to help some people one time, and then they attacked him.
Yikes.
It was a trick.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like a gang initiation type kind of thing.
I not even that. I think they just were trying to rob him or something. They were.
It's a
Wow.
I want to say they were.
How bad he get hurt?
It was like a tire iron that they hit him
Jesus
in the head
Christ.
with. Yeah.
Dang. That had to hurt. Really
Yeah.
hurt and bleed a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about that. That was a long time ago.
that's scary.
Yeah.
Phew.
So don't help people.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You were talking about the not on during the podcast, but you were telling us about the car that got flipped out in front of your house the other day, and how like the guy might have been like, if I touch her and something goes wrong, like
True.
maybe she have a neck injury or something, then all of a sudden I get a lawsuit because
Right.
I touched her and
Yeah, but you also don't have to touch people to be like, are you
well
okay?
at least acknowledge like sit down, sit down, sit down.
Yeah.
You know.
He's probably like, oh, I need a lawyer right now. I'm going to say the wrong thing type of guy.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he's probably one of those guys that was like, I'm going to call my lawyer. I love that.
Calling my lawyer right
Call
now.
my lawyer. Like, you have a lawyer on retainer?
He probably called his
What's-
lawyer
what's
before he
that
called the cops.
What the fuck does that cost you?
Really.
Because the only way you have a lawyer is if you're paying a lawyer a
Right.
retainer.
Sure.
Like if
Then
you're
you
like
honestly do have
if
a
you're a
lawyer.
millionaire, you have a lawyer.
Right.
I don't have a lawyer. I need to get a lawyer.
I mean, I have a
don't
lawyer
even
I
know a
would
lawyer.
call.
exactly.
I have a lawyer I would call, but I don't keep him on standby, and I
Right.
don't pay him
Right.
yearly or
But-
monthly.
so you can't really say, I'm going to call my lawyer.
Yeah, because he's not mine.
He's not technically
I'm
like.
gonna call my not my. I'm gonna call one that I know. And
I'm going to
like
call the lawyer that I used one other time,
2 other times.
2 other times. That's my lawyer.
Yeah. Oh
But-
God.
Well, you know what I'm saying. People
Yeah.
say it all the time. I want to talk to my lawyer,
Yeah.
dude. You ain't got no fucking lawyer. Public defender. That's what it's called.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna get is a public fucking defender if I need one, because I ain't got the money to get a lawyer.
Right. Right.
Yeah. They're expensive.
And they are. But I think we're gonna bypass because we've talked about it before. The fucking Texas ice storm when we had to drive through all that ice in Texas.
Oh my God.
It was a nightmare.
Oh, that was the most nightmare trip.
And when I'm talking like 8 inches of ice on the road.
Yeah. No, that's scary.
We went like,
sliding.
where'd we
and-
go? Like that was probably one of the most stressful drives I've ever
It was for
ever
me.
had.
Yeah, we went to Tyler, Texas, and we were stuck there for
2 days.
2.5 days.
Yeah.
You just
fine.
got to inch on like really.
Well, I mean,
really
everything was
slow.
shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, no, the interstates were shut. You couldn't go anywhere. We were stuck in Tyler, Texas for like 2.5 days.
How many of us was there? About 13, 14,
Wait, you were
14
in the
of
car
us?
stuck for 2 days?
No. We were
Oh.
at hotels.
Tractor
Oh.
trailers.
Like what?
They did have sleepers. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there was a
well,
whole group
but
of
still.
us that were going from one racetrack to the next.
but yeah, but then they finally opened it. You know, you got these gung ho people that are like chomping at the bit to get there. Oh, gotta go.
Yeah,
And we left Tyler and went. Where did we end up going?
we didn't get far. Eastland, Texas.
We went like 100. What was it, 150 miles?
It took hours.
It took like
and
8 hours to go
Yeah.
150 miles, and it was
Yeah.
like, why did we do this? We could have
Right.
waited till tomorrow
Yeah.
and probably,
Been fine.
know.
Yeah.
but one person, and then when one rolls out, then it's like everybody else has
Everybody
got to
else.
roll out too. So it was like, fuck.
It was
Yeah.
a terrible trip.
It was an awful trip.
It was our Was that our first Vegas race?
I don't know if it was the first one or not. I can't remember.
But we were going to the Rio. We were staying at the Rio in Vegas. I don't know where you were, but you might have been somewhere else.
Yeah, I remember I was like the last rig to pull in there from our company, and
Right.
they were kind of like pissed off at me, and I got out of the truck and I said, "Don't even fucking fuck with me."
Yeah.
I mean, I told Chuck and Chris both. I was like,
Leave me alone
don't even fucking go there.
Yeah.
Don't even fucking go there.
I was working for Roush then, and those guys were all over me on the phone. Calling me, we'll take you out to dinner when you get here. We'll do this. We'll do this. I'm gonna get there when I get there.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I was one of the last. There was only like 2 or 3 rigs that even pulled in behind me.
Right.
Because I'm not killing myself or anybody else for
Right.
fucking nobody.
Right.
Especially for what you were paying me. But I get there, and then of course I got to go park
Yeah.
because they wanted us to open. We had to open, and the rigs that were there were already parked and open. So I had to like go in, navigate my rig down with doors open and everything else, and get into my parking spot.
Yeah.
Then get out of my truck and go fucking
Sell
set
shit.
the shit up and open the doors and sell shit.
Yeah. No.
Right.
You need
No.
a break.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
was
why that
absolutely
job
crazy.
was a joke.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You thought, oh, cool, I get to travel, and
yeah.
then
I get to travel. That's all I get to do. I don't get to
Yeah.
go do anything fun. I just get to
Right.
travel.
Yeah.
That's all I do is travel.
right.
Yeah.
Not a sore spot.
No.
Not at all.
Obviously
at all.
not.
No, just it had its moments.
It did. It did have its moments, but I guess we didn't get to all our scary stories,
Right.
travel stories.
Right.
We can breach this subject at a later date,
Sure.
but Barney's got to get out of here at a reasonable hour. I told her she can't leave before 8 or 9, but but anyways,
Uh,
I got nothing else
I mean,
that I'm willing to talk about
yeah, same.
at this juncture.
Yeah.
Same.
That's all I got right now.
All right, we're going to call this one an episode.
All right.
Thank you for listening. I am the kid.
I'm Marnie.
And I'm Dan Ali.
We'll catch you next time.